Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Your teacher Lad is here, and today we're going to be sharing some important topics. Our goals are get reacquainted with someone that you haven't seen for a long time, greet a visitor to your country, discuss gestures and customs, describe an interesting experience. Getting acquainted, how to introduce to someone new. We're going to talk about customs around the world like greetings. In some countries, people bow, other kiss once and twice, shake hands, and some hug. Right now, because of the pandemic of coronavirus, we are not allowed to have physical contact. So we have to keep the social distance or physical distance. Well, we can bow, right? We can bow. We are going to learn how to exchange business cards, like the protocol for that, getting acquainted. Look at this question. Is there a right way and a wrong way to greet people? Yes, no, explain. And some people, when you get to know to someone new, and you have to be careful what topics you're gonna talk with that person. In some places, it's okay to talk about religion, someone's job, the weather, but in some countries, it's not allowed to talk about religion when you get acquainted with someone. So let's listen to this conversation. We did listen to two people meeting in a hotel lobby.
Read and listen to two people meeting in a hotel lobby.
You look familiar. Haven't we met somewhere before?
I don't think so. I'm not from around here.
I know. Aren't you from Japan? I'm sure we met at the IT conference last week.
Of course. You're from Mexico, right?
That's right. I'm sorry. I've forgotten your name.
Kamura Takashi. But you can call me Taka.
Hi, Taka. Leon Prieto. Please call me Leon. So, what have you been up to since the conference?
Not much. Actually, I'm on my way to the airport now. I'm flying back home.
Hey, we should keep in touch. Here's my card. The conference is in Acapulco next year, and I can show you around.
That would be great. I hear Acapulco's beautiful.
It was nice to see you again, Taka.
You too.
All right, in this conversation, you can see the abbreviation of IT. IT refers to information technology. There is also a question which is, what have you been up to? What have you been up to? That means, what have you been doing? It is very common in spoken English. And you can also use the expressions in different tenses like, what are you up to these days? What were you up to? After you analyze the conversation, you have to find the underlying expression in the photo story, like these ones, that matches each explanations. For example, you say this when you want to offer to introduce someone to a new place. What is the expression that you use? So you will find it in the conversation. Then you will be answering these questions according to the 40 story, and you have to explain as well. Then we have some conversation in class about discuss and write advice for visitors about how to behave in your country and so on. Okay, here we have the first lesson of this unit, which is about the present perfect. Here we're gonna learn about the present perfect. The present perfect is used to talk about an indefinite time in the past. An indefinite time in the past means that you don't specify when the action happened. So when you use the present perfect, we are gonna be always using a helping verb. have or has. In this case, it doesn't mean possession, right? It means a helping verb. Like I have, yo he, you have, tú has, and you have to use the verb in the past participle. I have decided. Yo he decidido. Cuando lo traducimos en inglés siempre van a terminar en ido o ado. They lost their passport. We have finished our class, and so on. So the present perfect is used to talk about indefinite time, so we don't specify when the action happened. For example, I have taught English for many times, right? But I didn't specify when I started this action. That is the present perfect. And here we have some examples. We've met them. We've is the short or the contraction form for we have. We've met them. When? I don't know, because we talk about an indefinite time in the past. We have the negative form, which is haven't or hasn't with the third person singular. For questions, we just have to use the helping verb have. Have you met them? Or have you gone to the United States? Have you done your homework? Have you been to India? And so on. So it's very easy. For questions, you just have to use have or has at the beginning. Look at these examples in the present perfect. I've met Bill twice. Here, I don't identify when I met Bill. But here, we met in 1999 and again in 2004. In the simple past tense, you specify, you say when the action happened. Remember, for the contraction, we say I've, you've, they've, and so on, she's, his, etc., etc. It is very important to know what verbs to use in the present perfect. Para eso voy a dejar una descripción de algunos videos de los verbos irregulares in the past participle. When we use the present perfect, we have to use the verb in the past participle, like I have spoken to the president. No, I have spoke. Or I have wrote a letter. No, I have written. After analyzing this, you're gonna choose the right answer over here. Then you will keep completing using the right form of the present perfect. Okay, now let's move to the next part. Okay, here, you're going to use the present perfect or the simple past tense. Remember, when we use the simple past tense, we specify the action. We specify the action. But when we use the present perfect, we talk about an indefinite time in the past. Now let's read and listen to people getting reacquainted, people that hadn't seen for a long time.
Read and listen to people getting reacquainted.
Audrey, have you met Hannah?
No, I haven't.
Hannah, I'd like you to meet Audrey.
Hi, Audrey. You look familiar. Have we met before? I don't think so. I know. Last month, you were at my sister Nicole's party. Oh, that's right. How have you been?
Listen again and repeat. Then practice the conversation model with a partner.
Audrey, have you met Hannah?
No, I haven't.
Hannah, I'd like you to meet Audrey.
Hi, Audrey. You look familiar. Have we met before? I don't think so. I know. Last month, you were at my sister Nicole's party. Oh, that's right. How have you been?
All right, in class, we are going to be personalizing that conversation. Now, let's listen to the reduction in the present perfect.
Listen to how the sound t of the negative contraction disappears in natural speech. 1,
I haven't been to that class.
2,
He hasn't met his new teacher.
3,
They haven't taken the test.
4,
She hasn't heard the news.
Okay, here the T disappear in a spoken English. So it is not mandatory that you say, I haven't. You can say, I haven't, right? That is very common when you speak. So we're going to personalize the conversation when we meet in class. Let's move now to the lesson 2. Here, we're gonna learn how to greet a visitor to your country. So let's listen to the conversation.
read and listen to someone greeting a visitor.
Welcome to Beijing. Have you ever been here before?
No, it's my first time. But yesterday I went to the Forbidden Palace. It was fantastic.
That's great. Have you tried Beijing duck yet?
Beijing duck? No, I haven't. What's that?
It's a famous Chinese dish. I think you'll like it.
Listen again and repeat. Then practice the conversation model with a partner.
Welcome to Beijing. Have you ever been here before?
No, it's my first time. But yesterday I went to the Forbidden Palace. It was fantastic.
That's great. Have you tried Beijing duck yet?
Beijing duck? No, I haven't. What's that?
It's a famous Chinese dish. I think you'll like it.
Read and listen.
Climb Mount Fuji.
Go sightseeing in New York.
Go to the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Try Korean food.
Take a tour of the Tower of London.
Take pictures of the Great Wall.
Now listen again and repeat.
Climb Mount Fuji.
Go sightseeing in New York.
Go to the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Try Korean food.
Take a tour of the Tower of London.
Take pictures of the Great Wall.
All right. Here, we're going to see some words that we use in the present perfect, like already, yet, ever, before, and never. For example, use ever or before in yes/no questions to talk about life experiences, like have you ever eaten Indian food? Have you ever, alguna vez? Have you ever tried Korean food? Have you ever taken a tour of the Tower of London? Have you ever, alguna vez? Or you can also use before at the end, like, has he been to Paris before? Él ha estado en París antes. Have you ever been to Canada? Have you been to Canada before? We can also use yet or already. Básicamente significa lo mismo en preguntas. Like, have you toured Quito yet? Has she already been? Ya ella ha estado already? Ya, yet. Have you toured Quito yet? ¿Has hecho turismo en Quito? Yeah. We can also use in affirmative and negative statements, like, for example, we've already seen the Great Wall. Ya nosotros hemos visto, or in the negative form, we haven't tried Beijing duck yet. Aún no hemos probado Beijing duck. Aún o todavía. They have never, that's obvious. Or you can say they haven't ever, right? Which has the same meaning. They have never visited. Ellos nunca han visitado. Ellos nunca han visitado. So they have the same meaning. So remember that before in questions and in negative or affirmative sentence, siempre va a ir al final. Now let's see something else. Okay, so here you're going to organize these words using the present perfect. I'm gonna tell you the first one, which is have you gone? Have you gone? Remember that you have to transform the verb in the past participle. Have you gone sightseeing in London before? And so on. Then you're gonna listen a conversation to complete here. And you can write 5 questions about tourist activities using yet, already, ever, and before. In class, we are going to personalize this conversation.